Thanks for checking out my channel. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe down below. Subscribing to my channel is going to give you guys the first glimpse of the content that I put out. I've got new equipment videos, I've got repair videos, I've got tool videos, all sorts of great stuff if you guys like small engine equipment. So again, subscribe to the channel and make sure you guys like the video down below. Now let's jump right into the video and I'll show you guys how I do this repair. What's up today, guys? I'm going to be replacing the whole handle assembly and fuel tank on this Husqvarna 435 chainsaw. Customer dropped it about 20-30 feet out of a tree, and on the tank there, I don't know if you can see it that well, it is cracked. There's a huge hole. It leaks gas all over the place. So this is all one continuous piece. We're going to replace that and get this fixed for the customer and back out in the field. In case you're wondering what the part number is, it's right here. You can see it there. Assembly is what we're gonna have to replace because that one specific area does not come as a separate part. So it's gonna be this whole tank assembly right here. Everything we're swapping out. So we gotta remove the carburetor, the manifold, the whole handle assembly, pretty much everything on the top end besides the crankcase. So with that, let's dig right in. I'll show you guys how I replace this handle on a T435 Husqvarna chainsaw. I'm going to start by removing the handle assembly. There's two screws that hold this on, one at the bottom and one over by the handle. The wiring harness is attached to this handle assembly, so you have to remove those two contact points to take it off. I'm going to remove the throttle trigger as well as the lockout. Disconnect the fuel line from the carburetor. There's a strap as well as two screws on this AV on the bottom. There's another AV on the front handle assembly. Now I'm going to use my rounded end tool to start prying up the rubber pieces on this back assembly. Some of the pieces you push through, some of them you pull up. Once all the pieces are separated, now you can pry up the handle. The last two things you need to remove are the wires as well as the oiler line on the front. Once you get this handle assembly removed from the crankcase, go ahead and disconnect all the remaining pieces and transfer them over to the new handle assembly. These contact points on your switch stick a little bit, so you have to pry them off. And the very last piece, now we can reassemble. Start by feeding the wires back through the assembly and then use the rubber grommet to lock them into place. Now install the fuel lines as well as the fuel filter. Install the tank vent grommet. And the tank vent. Install the purge bulb and reconnect your lines.
Make sure you install your oiler first so that way you have room to work on it. Then you can install your manifold. It's a tight fit reconnecting your oiler line to your nipple. Now pull through your manifold and the other rubber pieces. Be careful you don't puncture these or pull too hard where they tear. Before you secure the AV spring down with the second screw, make sure you put this other plate in first, otherwise you won't have room to attach the screw. Now reattach the handle assembly. This strap is torn, so I put a new hole in at the top to reattach it. Here's the last AV spring. The one with the fine threads goes into the metal on the right hand side. The one with the coarse threads goes into the plastic. In order to get this linkage back into place, you have to install one end on the carburetor first and then attach it to the throttle trigger. If you try to do it the other way, it's not going to work. This little plate goes right underneath the choke lever. One screw attaches the bottom of the carburetor. Two screws attach the carburetor as well as this air filter piece. This throttle is sticking a little bit, so I'm going to oil it up. And this is what it looks like fully assembled.
All right, we got the handle assembly replaced. Again, this had a crack in the fuel tank, which is part of the handle assembly right down here. So there is no way to fix that without replacing this whole assembly. Start to finish, if you're doing cleaning and getting everything organized, you're going to have a solid hour in this project. So there's a lot of stuff that has to be done. You're literally tearing everything off, the handle assembly, all the AV springs, everything all the way down to the crankcase. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this project. Make sure you guys are separating out hardware too. There's a couple different variations. The real fine threads are going to be going into metal, and that's pretty much going to be on this side. There's one screw there. The thicker threading is going to be plastic to plastic. So just keep that in mind. Same with steel products. The smaller the thread, it's going to be going into metal. So that way you guys aren't stripping stuff out when you're trying to put it back in. This handle assembly is a little bit of a pain. I showed you guys how to do that in the video. Just take your time. Know that you're probably going to have a little bit of a problem getting it to seat in there. Just the nature of the beast, because you have the wiring harness connected to this handle top. So you're trying to get that in the same time as you're trying to seal up that spring and the trigger. So you got to get everything tucked in there, and you got to get it closed up without it popping off. So just give yourself a little bit of grace on that if it's not working the way you want. I did also tear this carburetor apart while I had it off. and I made sure that I cleaned all the debris out. A lot of top handle saws will end up getting debris inside by the diaphragms. So just take those outside plate covers off, clean them out, put everything back together. That will save you some headaches in the long run. I also put a new air filter on there as well. The hard thing to do was doing this oil line in the front. They don't really give you a whole lot of oil hose to connect and get to the tank. So you guys are going to have to be very careful with that. Make sure that you're doing this before you do everything on your backside. If you do everything back here, it's not going to allow you to bend this up to make the connection. So you're going to have to pull this stuff back off. So start with the front up here, then go to the back with your manifold and stuff. So needle nose pliers, some extended ones, you should be able to reach onto the hose and get it onto that 90-degree angle joint there. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Other than that, pretty straightforward, just a lot of little tedious stuff that you got to take off. So again, 1 hour repair on this. If you haven't done it before, it's going to take you a little bit of time. So enjoy. Not super hard, but pretty straightforward. Just keep those things in mind that I talked to you about. If you guys found this video helpful, make sure you guys drop a like below and subscribe to my channel. On my channel, I've got lots of repair videos just like this of repairs that come through the shop on a daily basis. I've got tools, tips, and tricks that I use to get the customer's equipment fixed and right back out in the field. After you're done watching this video, make sure you guys check the description down below. In the description, I will list some tools that I use on these projects, as well as different parts that I think you guys are going to find useful on the repair. So I appreciate you guys watching the video. Thanks for taking the time to do so. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below. I'll try my best to answer those for you. And again, I appreciate you guys watching my channel. Have a great rest of your day.